When most people think of Orlando, they think of Disney World or Universal. Not even though Orlando International Airport does handle a lot of passengers to and from Disney World and or Universal, there's more to Orlando than these two companies and their theme parks. Even though Miami International is well known for being the southern gateway of the United States, Orlando is by far the busiest airport in the state of Florida and is the 18th busiest airport in the world and the 7th busiest in the US as of 2023. What's going on, everyone? My name is Cool Titanium 68, and in today's episode of American Airport Expansions, we're going to take a look at Orlando's new South Terminal Complex. Let's roll that intro. Now, before we talk about the new South Terminal Complex, let's go over some history of Orlando International Airport. Built in 1942, this airport used to be an Air Force base. It was originally named Orlando Army Airfield No. 2 as an auxiliary field to the Orlando Army Air Base, which today is where Orlando Executive Airport is. In the early 60s, the airfield would become a joint civilian military airfield. Airplanes like the Boeing 707, 727, and Douglas DC-8, as well as the Corvair 880, were among the many different airplanes that would fly into this airfield, since this Orlando Executive Airport could not expand their runways to accommodate the larger jets. Now, 1962 was the year that the city of Orlando and the U.S. Air Force agreed to jointly use McCoy Air Force Base for civilian use as well as military use. More and more airlines would move away from Orlando Executive as there was more space and longer runways at the named Orlando Jetport at McCoy. Traffic at the airport significantly increased with Disney's opening of Magic Kingdom in 1971. And in 1975, with the closing of McCoy Air Force Base, the Greater Orlando Aviation Authority would take over operations of Orlando International Airport. The years following the closure of McCoy Air Force Base would see the airport itself grow massively, especially after the airline industry deregulation of 1978 and the eventual expansion of Disney World and new parks from Universal that would open in and near Orlando. Today, the U.S. military still uses the airport for some military use to this day. For example, the 164th Air Defense Army Brigade from the Florida National Guard, as well as multiple units of the Army, Navy, and Marine Reserves are stationed at or near Orlando International Airport. Now, as the airport has grown over the years, so has the need for, well, a new terminal. Now, the problem with that is, if you've ever been to Orlando, and I'm going to scoot up here, this is what it currently used to look like. There are 4 piers. I mean, yeah, you could expand this pier out here. I don't know why they haven't done that, but it was pretty much operating way above capacity from what I was originally intended to build. In May of 2015, the Greater Orlando Aviation Authority unanimously approved a plan to build a new $1.8 billion South Terminal Complex. Now, this building would be adjacent to the Orlando International Airport Intermodal Terminal. This is the Intermodal Terminal. So what this does is it connects the people mover system directly to the orange line of the, I believe this is the Sunlight. Yeah, the bright line orange line that directly serves Orlando International. With this new Southern Terminal Complex, actually, it did start off in, 2 phases, at least for the initial Terminal C. Now, phases 1 and 2 again are for Terminal C. Phase 1, which we're currently at, has opened in 2022. Now, built with an initial 15 gates, this gate was the single largest expansion in the airport's history. Now, for years, Terminals A and B had greatly exceeded capacity, and Terminal C was built to alleviate congestion off of these 2 terminals. With an additional design to accommodate 10 million passengers annually, Terminal C saw 6.4 million passengers in the first year that it opened. Now, that is this building over here. Now, if we took this off, and I zoom out a little bit more, this is what it used to look like. This is what it looked like. It was a 15-gate terminal, and it extended up to the north. But the problem is that there wasn't enough space. I mean, as I said, this could accommodate 10 million passengers a year, and what they did is they moved a lot of the international flights out of some of these gates here so that you could use the wide-body gates that are already built in, because outside of these narrow body gates, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wide body gates with dual jetway bridges. And then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I believe this is 8. Yeah, and then there's 8 narrow body gates. So you can move all the international flights out and don't really have to worry about that. But again, as I said, because it handled 6.4 million passengers already in the first year that it opened, they decided that they're already going to have to go through the second phase. So to help facilitate the needed capacity for this airport and the anticipated 60 million passengers for 2024, Terminal C is already going under an 8-gate expansion to the south side of Terminal C. I'm thinking what they're supposed to do is they're going to add probably another set of 8 narrow-body gates. So what they're going to do is they're going to mirror what they'll probably do. And I think that's what it looks like on here. Well, maybe. They might be adding, I think what they'll do, since there's only 4 of these, it looks like they're only going to add, we're going to add 4 more wide-body gates, but they're going to be wide enough so that they can just have 2 jet bridges for 8 gates. Instead of here, where they're like right next to each other and there's not really much space, which... okay, that does make sense. You can have more international flights come out and use that, which is not a problem. Now, with most international airlines now operating out of Terminal C, as I've shown before, there are 7 wide-body gates, so that's why they are using that. The airport is also spending about $40 million on renovating the North Terminal Complex to take advantage of the space that it currently uses. And pretty much what they're doing is they're going to take this and they're pretty much just going to like maybe tear out some walls, make it a little bit open so that it's not taking up it doesn't feel so cramped when it comes to doing stuff for this airport. Now, this whole South Terminal Complex does include space for a 4th terminal on the other side of where the intermodal facility is, but that is probably not going to be going on for at least, I would say, the next 5 years at a bare minimum. And the reason for that is because Terminal D, which will be the next terminal that's going to be on the south side, well, on the east side of, I forgot what road that is. This is roads, yeah, on the east side of, well, Access Road, which is the literal name of it. That's over on that east side. That won't start until the airport has reached 70 million annual passengers. And I would believe that as they eventually start to add more phases onto the west side, most likely, maybe. I don't know the full extent to that. I haven't seen the master plan for it, but in total, this whole new South Terminal Complex is supposed to handle over 120 gates. Now, I believe there's only about 100 or so gates already at Orlando on the north side, like at the North Terminal Complex. So with that, they're going to be adding, pretty much going to be doubling the capacity at Orlando at a bare minimum. And honestly, that's pretty much where we're going to have to start wrapping it up here. I know it's a shorter video today compared to some of the other videos, or at least some of the other American airport expansion videos. But the reason for that is, well, the south part of the South Terminal Complex is already complete, and this second phase is already in the works. They're already building it. They're almost done. I would say they're not almost done. I think with building the exterior part, at least of the terminal, but they're in the process of, well, then they're going to have to rebuild a lot of the land around it so that they can put in more, how do I want to say this? So that they can, like, well, have planes come in and fly to it. Because the one thing that they are going to have to do is they're going to have to extend the double-sided taxiways to come south a little bit farther so that they can put more stuff in there. And I would bet that they're going to have some form of satellite terminals, because if you guys see here, like, that's a ton of space right here just in general. So I would not be surprised if they were to add like a satellite gate here, at satellite terminal gates here, maybe extend this up farther north to accommodate for all this stuff. I'm not too sure. I might have to find it again if I remember where it is, but I digress. Orlando is, again, it's one of the busiest airports in the US. It's going to be one of the busiest still within the state of Florida. Again, with an estimated passenger count of 60 million for 2024, the full build itself is expected to accommodate a total of 100 million passengers through both the north and south terminal complex when it's fully complete. And again, with that, we're going to end it right here, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching today's American Airport Expansions video about Orlando International Airport. If you guys liked what you just watched, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button down below. If you don't want to miss any future aviation videos, as well as any of our automotive or mountain bike content, make sure you guys hit that bell icon so you'll be notified when each new video drops at 8 a.m. I hope you guys have a great day and a great weekend. Peace.